It was about 2 months ago, I think, that Charlie was walking down one of the streets in Cleveland, and he was mugged. Somebody jumped out of the car and mugged him. Now, it could have been someone from the diocese. We're not sure.
And then Bill and Nancy were going to pick me up, but they wanted to do it in some place where they would be safe in case they were with me.
Was he mugged in front of the diocese?
Did he have a purple robe on?
Yeah.
So we'll just take a few minutes break. Gail, what are the totals that we have? Why don't you just give those total numbers,
Okay.
if you don't mind?
Okay, I had, I think 54 churches, 54 churches that I have records on. I have 14 that I have actual cash values, and many of them are the churches under appeal. So the if you know anybody who wants to give me some figures, I'd be glad to take them, because to get the cash figures is kind of difficult. So far in cash from the churches that I have listed 54, and I know that there's some question as to how many, before reconfiguration. So anyway, it's 10,175,000. Now,
Cash.
Cash, that's just cash. Then for the properties for those same churches that have been recorded by their respective counties is $5,800,000. So and there's 19 that have been sold that I have figures for. I'm sorry, yes, 19 that I have figures for. So that you're looking at 25% of the cash and only 35% of the properties that have been sold comes to almost $16 million. And a couple things that I wanted to let you know. We have 3 that are bought by a charter school, which Nancy speaks better of, that has absolutely no business
White
being.
Hat Management, you're all familiar with.
Right. One actually, which, I hate to do this, one was sold to an Arabic entity, which, it's a Catholic church. I don't think it should be turned into a mosque, but that's just, one was sold and is now a community greenhouse. One was actually sold for a drug rehab. There's one other charter school called Constellation, and my great niece goes to the one in Parma, so I don't know anything about them. And the rest were bought by different denominations of churches. Now, the only thing that we all know that the diocese is not transparent with their money. That being said, we have how many churches in appeal? 13, 15?
I think there's 13.
13 that we know positively, and every single one of them had cash of some amount, which is most of this money. As a member of St. Wendelin, I want to know how much you're paying in bills, how much you're getting in for the school that is there, leasing, and how much that money is earning in interest, because until that appeal is settled, it's our money. It's the parish's money. And that infuriates me, because we have $1.25 million. Even in a safe investment, we should have another couple $1,000s. It's been 2 years, So that really, it's like Charlie says the money is theirs. It is, but it shouldn't be. It should be in if I'm using the wrong term, correct me, an escrow account with a balance or running balance, just like if it were in the hands of the parish. How much you spent to pay the utilities, how much you took in rent, and how much you took in interest on that money. And I still have 40-some churches that I would like to find the cash value on. So if you know anybody in any closed, suppressed parish, there's even a case, and then I'll finish. There's a case, and I think it's St. Barbara, where 10% of the parishioners have gone to I think it's St. John Cantius, is that?
Right.
Right?
It's over on
And from what I understand, they contacted the diocese to get 10% of their money. Well, they're still under appeal, so
Yeah.
I can see them saying no, but they got a letter saying no. Absolutely not. You know, I never said, you know, one of those, I never said that. So,
John, give them the pay.
yeah.
What they're saying now, I believe, is that that money would go to the territorial church in the area where the suppressed parish was located.
Only if you merge.
That's what they're saying now.
Would say many
Well,
things.
but they're not showing us that they're doing that. No parish is saying we got an influx of money here. This is Charlie's 5-minute
Yeah,
break.
we have to, I am worried about time.
Because I do want to ask him a question.
There's some kind of, there is a group, I think it's called Emergency Ministries, which is very appropriate. They're coming after us. And they come in at noon.
One more thing. If anybody wants a copy of the report, so you know what parishes I'm looking for, there's a sign-up sheet for your email. If you want a copy, so if you know people in other parishes, it's back there along with the attendance sign-up sheet.
Questions for Charlie?
Yeah, Mason, real quick, in today's paper, there's an article in Franklin County going after David Brennan,
Yeah.
White Hat Management, so you're aware of that.
Yeah.
And also to Tyak, when I interviewed him about the patrimony of St. Casimir, he says, oh, Joe, by the way, we're having a hard time locating where the monies from St. Casimir are going to go because we don't know where the people are going. And they had $848,000 in a copy of the bank receipt that Wojtek has a copy of.
I have a copy too.
Yeah, which you have too. Thank you.
Miriam? Frank, what did Sam Miller get?
You have to understand that the diocese has property all over. Prior bishops thinking that, you know, as population goes out, they bought property, you know, in different places years ago that now are rural suburban communities and that sort of thing. So we're sitting on a lot of property. If you're to check through deals and you would check the subsidiary corporations of Forest City Enterprise, they're receiving property at bargain basement prices, and the church, in fact, is not. You know, if he wants to make money, and Pilla did, that would have been a very wise way to do it. Just like the property that he sold out in Concord Township. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that area, but there are $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $800,000 homes being built on these lots. And we got it in exchange for some crummy building. I had the president of the Realtors Association at that time. Our kids went to school together, and he called me up, and his brother was a priest who died, and he just said, Charlie, please tell me that you did not have anything to do with this. I said, absolutely not. I said, that was Joe Smith. And he said, thank you. He says, because I really, you know, think you're a good guy, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And he just said, who the F thought this thing up? And I said, well, you know, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't that good. What he was good at was being like the bag man and helping them arrange unscrupulous things. But as far as someone's, you know, when they say in the paper, well, he kept Joe because, and Joe was making this fabulous salary because he was such a good financial, that's a joke. That's really a joke.
Sorry, Joanne.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm starting to see that, you know, all these big entities are inefficient and corrupt, whether it's the federal government or the church or whomever it is. It's built into the structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you tried to take on the structure and the insiders and the people at the top. It seems impossible to do it in that way.
Yeah, not from the inside, no. Because the thing is that any bureaucracy, and the church is a perfect example of that, it gets to a point where the bureaucracy exists for the bureaucracy, not for those that that it serves. Federal government is an example of that. The Diocese of Cleveland, the Roman Rite Church at this point, which is, if you read the book, when they're talking about, was it Cardinal Sedona, and then he's got relatives in the mafia, and they're doing all, none of that surprised me, because that happened here. And I saw it. And again, what happens is the bureaucracy exists for the bureaucracy. The only way, I believe, to rectify the situation, and that's a big if, is if the laws that are presently on the books are adhered to. You can have an audit of the Catholic Church, but the Attorney General has to do it. When we asked the Attorney General, because I filed a lawsuit in the name of a number of people, I sued Petro as the Attorney General, but said if you want to join us, that would be fine. Judge Stuart Freeman, who is a friend, Stu said that we had standing to sue over this. Okay, that we had subject matter jurisdiction, but we didn't have standing because it's a public charity. And a public charity, the only one that can sue is the Attorney General. And the Attorney General was Mr. Petro. Oh, and have I told you that when he was in private practice, he was the head of Petro Rademacher, and they handled all of the diocese workmen's compensation cases. And Diocese of Cleveland is one of the largest employers in the state of Ohio. You think that was a coincidence? And if someone had gotten involved...
Is this the only way you see to deal with anything is through the law, which I don't know what that means anymore, but legally...
I think that yes, that and the other thing is knowledge is power. You know, there are how many of you here? To be honest, there should be thousands of people here listening to this and getting angry. Do you remember that movie years and years ago where the guy throws a TV thing out and he goes, "I'm mad and I'm not going to take it"? Yeah, exactly. That's what has to happen, and we have always, Catholics have voted on the church two ways: your feet and your pocketbook. And they will change if they're losing money. Yeah, the feet doesn't bother them. Pardon?
Boycott the basket.
Yeah.
Boycott Catholic charity. Boycott the bishop's capital campaign. Boycott every collection they have. And tell them why.
Right, David's right. This isn't because of an economic reason. This is because of your maladministration of our money, or the lack of transparency, or whatever. However you feel, comfortable. But it'll follow the dollars. They really will.
Thank you.
They'll be here pretty soon. It could be here any minute. I gotta start getting ready for them.
We'll just get ready to go. By the way, our next meeting, Code Purple, September 17th, Saturday, here at the library. Any of you who want to come, please join us. We'll continue with this financial discussion, and especially the charter school situation, which we're aggressively going after now.
Yeah,
Any other questions for Charlie?
Gail had one.
I just have one quick question. Do you have a figure while you were there of how much you settled in claims?
Well, the interesting thing is that my files, after I had my stroke, I had confidential files that were under lock and key that told about all the settlements. And one day, because both of my administrative assistant and my secretary were fiercely loyal to me, they stayed around one evening because something seemed very suspicious about people coming in and out of my office and stuff. Anyways, Joe Smith had all of my files, including the locked files, that would tell you who the priests were, settlements, where they're at, and everything else. They were all physically removed from the diocese. They were put on a truck, and they left. And now, no one knows where they're at.
So you don't have,
I have some in my mind that stick out more than others. Do you know what I'm saying? But it was, it would have the name and then the copy of the settlement and that sort of thing in there. No, it was, but yes, now isn't that lovely? It all disappears.
Janelle?
I don't understand, Charlie, why it was important to you that your children get a Catholic education, I don't understand why you go to Mass every Sunday. I don't understand why any of us are Catholics.
Well, I'm not there because of the assholes I worked with or for. I'm there because I believe that theologically they're correct. Administratively, they're buffoons. And as human nature is, with absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that's what we have. And rules, the human rules within the church, I mean, I can go along with this whole thing that they're descendants of the apostles, and therefore they have certain, Okay, fine, but that does not relieve them of the duty of the way they treat people. These are the Pharisees of our time. They are no different than the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin when Jesus was alive. If he came back here, the ones he would be ripping would be the NCCB, not anybody else.
God exists outside of the Catholic Church.
Exactly, but this is where I prefer to be.
I want to make a statement on that, because I feel...
Not too long, John.
The faith requires us to stand up. What do you do when someone's injured? You go help them. Do you walk away from it, or you straighten it out? Most of the people that I know that are Catholic are very good. Most of the people I know who are priests are very good. I was baptized Polish National Catholic. My grandfather fought him in Baltimore at the First World War. They were taking our Polish churches away from him. He went to National Catholic. When I was 8 years old, we came back to Roman Catholic because we used to go to Pope. My dad's family were Byzantine. 250,000 left in 5 years, had to go to the Orthodox because the American bishops ran the show differently. And the minister in 1910, 1914 told Rome to go fly a kite. They can do whatever they want to these Slavs. So that's why I'm Catholic, to stand up for the faith. And because if there's nothing wrong, these men are doing stuff wrong. They're only men. They put their pants on. They take them off. And they, and they have to be straightened out. And we have the power to do it. You're born Catholic, you die Catholic. It's important what you do in between that time period on your gravestone. Don't run.
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.